So Steven Universe is popular again. On TikTok, I've seen an abundance of clips from the show, and they all have tons and tons of likes. The other day, it was even the top 5th ranked show streaming on HBO Max. And I love this show, so you may wonder why my first thought when I saw that it was trending was, that's really weird. That's unusual! You might have thought I was happy or excited to see the show grow. But no, I was weirded out because I thought the general opinion on the show was that people fucking hated it. And not like, oh, this show sucks. No, like, I thought people thought this was the antichrist of shows. So the point I'm really trying to make in this video is to explain how Steven Universe, before this rise of popularity, was really hated by the community. And how 12-year-old me was scared of being crucified for saying they liked the show. I also really want to credit Cartoonchi on this topic. He made a really good video talking about this that kind of inspired me to make this video. So why would I be weirded out at the fact that people actually like the show that I hold so dearly to my heart? Well, because it's like, what the hell, guys? This whole time I had to hide the fact that I liked the show when I was 12, just so I wouldn't be called a liberal, so I've been crybaby cuck from 20-year-olds who were shitting on the show constantly, when in reality people maybe sort of actually like the show and just didn't say anything? Come on! Now, I'm not saying this show is flawless. There's hours of content on YouTube explaining why Steven Universe is garbage or completely ruined. 2-hour-long videos? Are you kidding me? The show is not that bad, guys. I don't think it deserves this much hate. And having to hold my tongue so I wasn't scrutinized about liking the show was something that shouldn't have happened to me. And I don't know if this is just a personal experience of mine watching Steven Universe, but still, I don't like it. And in this video, we're going to talk about the true underlying message of Steven Universe and how some people misinterpreted it. Well, that'll be later in the video. Right now, we're going to cherry pick some arguments that I don't like, and we're going to squash them. We're going to tell them, show you guys how I'm right and they're wrong. The first critique, and probably the one I saw the most, was that the animation was very inconsistent, to the point where it would make the show unwatchable. Now I get it, there are varying inconsistencies with the quality of the animation. You'll have moments like this.
It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over?
But then you'll also have moments like this.
You got it, dude!
Yes.
Which could be pretty jarring, yes. But the fact people hate on the show for having inconsistent proportions or hair or even style making it unwatchable for them, I feel like it's so unfair in the world of animation today. Oh no, she's shorter than she's supposed to be in this show. Oh no, her hair is slightly bigger than it was earlier. I found this Reddit post from user Razito that explains my point perfectly. Everyone who freaked out over Steven Universe having inconsistent proportions has no idea how much they are contributing to this cancer in the animation industry of rigid models and stiff rigs. I have worked in productions that legit wanted you to just copy and paste the model sheet. And let me tell you, as an artist, it is so stifling to have to stay bound to the strict proportions of the model sheet. And it does mean you get stiffer, less lively animation, whether you can tell it or not. But no, we have to make it seem like the world is going to end if Steven's hair is too big in one frame. Basically, it's not a big deal. The animators actually get to draw their own frames and not have to orchestrate a puppet in a flash rig or something. So that's why I can forgive wacky frames, because I prefer that paired with amazing scenes like this.
Every night fucks every day up. Every day patches the night up. Oh God, you should match it, it's that KO. No white lighters till I fuck my 28th up. 1998, my family had the Acura. Oh, the legend.
So if anyone tells you the animation is bad, just reply with that sick-ass edit I made. That should stop them. I am on the side that this show had a lot of filler, but the filler was used more as a world-building tool to make the audience care for the background characters that in turn did pay off in the end. They just had some of these filler episodes at the worst possible time. For example, after a long arc of Steven being captured to Homeworld to save his friends and being put on trial for the murder of Pink Diamond, ending in a character's death. And Steven finding out that he can revive said character and travel through his hair to his pocket dimension out through his lion. Oh yeah, Steven has a pink lion, by the way. Back onto Earth, the very next episode, instead of Steven trying to, get the gems to help rescue the human he left on Homeworld, he helps, get this, the local mayor run for re-election. Steven, local politics mean nothing, especially when your friend is trapped in space. And I know Connie was mad at Steven and she took Lion from him, but like, come on, Connie, our 12-year-old beef can be put aside. Our friend just fucking died in space. So yes, the filler could be annoying. But without these world-building episodes, I wouldn't care about the people of Beach City. I wouldn't have known about Jamie's love for theater, or Sadie's relationship with her mom, Lars's family troubles, or how Mr. Smiley probably killed someone.
No! I'm still paying off the last lawsuit!
So when the gem part of the story and the human part of the story connect, I actually care about the humans. I actually don't want Topaz to crush Jamie's skull with her hands.
Huh?
Jamie.
Huh? Stephen?
No, don't do it, man. He wants to be an actor or something. And I've also heard arguments that there is no filler in Steven Universe, which, let's be honest, that's not true. I promise you, I don't need to learn about Mr. Smiley's old comedy partner. It doesn't add to the story in a fun way. This guy's a fucking loser.
Tell me the truth. Do I really just drive everyone around me away?
Sometimes they did a good job, sometimes they did a really bad job. But for me, it's tolerable and it pays off in the end, for the most part. Another critique I saw was the LGBTQ representation was not done well, which personally, I mean, I'm a straight white male, so I don't really have a right to say if it was represented correctly. But I don't know. They showed a couple kissing, and they married, so that good job. Fusion is sex. I don't really understand this one. Like, are people saying that Steven fusing with his dad means that he fucked his dad? I think the overall message with fusion is that it represents platonic, romantic, and even just general relationships and their problems, ranging from toxic relationships, codependency, using someone for your own benefit, unreciprocated love, low self-esteem, and, you know, just love. To clarify, it's like fusions are different relationships. Like I just said, garnet represents love, while opal, a fusion between pearl and amethyst, represents more of a family bond that those two have, and Stevani being a weird mix of platonic and romantic love. Like Garnet said, they're an experience. So yeah, I hope that clarifies that Steven didn't fuck his dad, guys. It represents their relationship, like guitar or something, I don't know. Moving on to what Cartucci really talked about in his video, how this general hate Steven Universe had flanderized Steven in the show itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to summarize his video here. He talks about Steven Universe memes, for example, the one with Jack Horner.
We don't have to fight.
That was weird.
A character who was just made to be unredeemable and evil.
Monster! Oh, what took you so long, idiot?
And just other memes about how he just cries about friendship, when even though these memes are funny, it kind of misrepresents Steven's character and drags the show's reputation down. Steven does cry a lot, yes. But he doesn't cry and beg his enemies to change. He throws hands most of the time. And he gets pissed that he has to deal with his mom's problems. Hell, he doesn't even forgive his own mom. He hates her. He doesn't sit there and beg Bismuth to change her ways. Another big complaint with people is the ending of Steven Universe. How the Diamonds, who were tyrannical dictators who went around destroying planets for their own gain, were forgiven. Guys, nobody forgave the Diamonds. Yes, they got off scot-free, which is a fault in the story, but Steven fucking hates them.
Because judging anything based on appearance is wrong.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
He feels uncomfortable around them, especially White. Her finger even being around his stomach makes Steven uncomfortable due to what she did in the past. Hell, in future, Steven tries to kill her. So people are wrong in the fact that Steven forgave these tyrannical dictators. But I do agree that they should have been given more clear consequences in the original series. I really don't know what they could have done though. Like, I don't think they could have just locked them in prison or something. So I don't know what people expected for the show. Did they want Steven to come in with just a fucking gun or something? Steven did stop the Diamonds. They should have had more consequences, but he did not forgive them. Speaking of another ending, Steven Universe's future was also disliked by people. The main argument I've seen is that Steven's PTSD was solved from a single hug. By the way, this is Steven, which I don't think is true at all. To me, the ending was more of like a first step in Steven's healing stage. I've seen so many comments talking about how Steven Universe future ruined the reputation of this series, talking about how insufferable Steven was. But guys, that's the point. Steven Universe future is about the traumatic response Steven went through from his childhood. Every aspect of his support system failed him as a child. As a teenager growing up and realizing that, it's so devastating. And I'm not saying Greg is terrible or the gems are terrible, but Steven has trauma and it doesn't excuse the way he treats them. But to me, this representation is a realistic portrayal of someone who's gone through trauma. We saw his slip in mental health to the point where he became corrupted, and the show ends with him realizing he can fall back on others. The show doesn't end with him being magically happy. He's seeing a therapist and he's leaving Beach City to start his life. Steven Universe future may be the ending of the show, but it's the start of Steven's adulthood and his pursuit to finding himself. Again, I'm not trying to tell you that the show is good or not and why you should like it. I'm trying to defend it in the fact that people overhated it throughout the years. Steven Universe is about overcoming family trauma. Growing up with my own family trauma, learning to live with what happened and the lies I was told was so extremely difficult. This show is something I resonate with so much because I relate to it. It gives me an opportunity to be vulnerable and allows me in a safe way to open up layers and layers of trauma. This show has taught me so many things about myself, which is weird as fuck because it's just a kid's show, you know? But I am so grateful for it. I learned how important communication is, how sometimes your loved ones will hurt you, and how you don't have to forgive them, but you can still heal as a person. I also learned how Mr. Smiley's friend is a fucking loser, and at the end of the day, I am excited that this show had a spike in popularity. But I wish I didn't have to hide the fact that I liked the show when I was 12. And yes, I did make Steven Universe videos when I was little, and they slapped.
Paradox calls Yellow Diamond a quad and betrays her, and now she's a crystal gem. Now let's talk about the cluster I mentioned earlier in the video.
Tell me your thoughts on the show, whether they'd be good or bad, but just please don't be mean to me because I will cry. That's it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the time I'm 50. I'm 17 right now, so hopefully we get there soon. Check out my other videos if you want, and that's it. Bye!
I'm disappointed, baby, cause now all you do is get high with my friends. You don't like when it ends, oh so sorry. You're disappointed lately, cause now all I do is get by with your friends. And we try to focus, but we can't. Now you got it lazy, telling me to smoke cause fun.